Well, this morning I decided to work on the boat again. Today in Southern California, it's rather a cloudy day and the weather is cooler today. So I have not touched this boat in maybe 2.5 years. Last time I worked on was maybe 3 years ago. Put the platform on during the pandemic, and ever since then I've taken it out maybe 2 or 3 times, and since then it's been parked on the side of the house for the last 2 years. And then we recently moved to a new house, which is a gated community, and the garage is good size, 2.5 car garage. But my sons, they have their weight equipment in there, and I also have a lot of my tools in there. But I try to park this thing in the back of the church parking lot, and some people got into the boat. Maybe they jumped the fence or something and took some of my stuff. So I don't trust parking in here no more. I'm gonna take it home. And you see this tongue jack? It's way too long. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this. I have ordered a Fulton Fold-Away tongue. So I'm gonna cut this so that I can fold this back and hopefully park the boat inside of the garage. And this is my project for today. That's what I'm going to be working on today. I'll show you later on after I'm done. Right here, I'm going to move this to the back here, and then I'm going to cut somewhere here. This summer, I'm going to try to use this boat again. We'll see. So I ordered this on Amazon, and it came with all the bolts. This is the lock pin. They even included a little center punch where I'm gonna drill the holes here so that I can get my holes lined up, which is good. And then they also gave me these 2 little rubber nipples to plug the holes on the side here so that they will not be banging against each other. And these are all the hardware. I got this for like, I think it was like 117 or 119, but because I have some money still credited, I end up paying about $71 on it, and so we'll see. These are all the tools that I use. I have a DeWalt cutter here, and then some sockets, hammer, a grinder, and also my impact here. That's all you need. Well, for this part, it was bent, so also besides it's too long, so I'm cutting just a little bit off here at the end so that I can fix this part, whereas it looks pretty junky here, and looks like it's been hit, bent here, and I've cut this off and move the coupling back a little bit, and then I'm going to move this back down to somewhere here, and so that I can fold this tongue here. This is so long, I'm going to move about 2 foot back. I'm going to leave about 1 foot here so that I have enough room to put this over here. And I'm going to cut it right there and then put the coupling on it so I can swing it back. So this thing from here to here is about 6.5, 6 3/4. So I'm gonna have to save some room for myself here, down here. And then this will also need some room here. So I would have to save some room here for the jack. And if I come down here, that's about 8 inches. That's 6 3/4. That's going to give enough room. So it's perfect that I marked this thing about 1 foot back. Before you cut this here, you would have to move this back, because if you don't and you start cutting here, and when this thing cuts through, your whole boat is going to come down. Your trailer, your boat, everything. And so you would have to loosen this, and perhaps you put something like a jack stand or something under here, and then move this back as far as you want it to, all the way back here, before you start cutting this thing, so that your trailer, your boat will not collapse down after, once this is cut it. Here I use a jack to jack this up to hold the boat and the trailer up, and then I loosen the bolts here and move this thing back before I cut that. Let's check one more time. And that's gonna, I have just about enough room here. So before you start cutting anything, you want to make sure that you have enough room back here, because you don't want to just start cutting and then find out you don't have room down here, and that's going to be screwed up. So when you cut, make sure you have a 90-degree angle ruler, and you put a straight edge here, and so that when you cut, make sure you have a nice straight line like I have here with the cutter. And so when you finish, it's going to look nice, and you don't have to do a lot of grinding when you finish cutting. But as you cut it, make sure you check on your line so that you don't cut through your lines. I'm going to cut it through here, and then try to bend it back a little bit, and then pull my lines back. My cable, these are my light wire. Pull them back so that I don't cut them. So here, before I center punch my holes, I have to put a clamp on it to make sure it's nice and tight, so this thing will not move, and when I punch it, I will get the exact center holes where I want it to drill through. So I will now offset the holes when I put the screws in. Before you start drilling, match them first and make sure that they are exactly where you want them to be and that they fit together nicely like that already before you start drilling, because you don't want to drill and then find out that you goofed. Then you have to cut it again. And so this is exactly what I wanted. And I'm going to put the center punch on it and then start drilling them. And when you drill, use some type of lubrication so that you don't burn your drill. Here I'm just using DW40 and it worked for me. So right here, right there, and start with the pilot hole and then move the sizes up until it fits the size that you want it, so you don't mess it up. Start with the little pilot hole first, and then you move it up to the size that you want. Don't start drilling big and then mess it up. I'm lucky to have this drill press here in my garage. And so on the end that is attached to the trailer, I would have to do it by hand, manually, because I cannot put this drill press there. But here, this end, I have this drill press, so I'm using it and it's a whole lot easier to do. All done. It took me a couple good hours, 2 to 3 hours. That's because I have to drill these holes and also re-drill these holes and then reconnect all the wires. So it took me about a good 3 hours, but now it's done. Okay, so there it is. Swing. Now look how much space I was able to save after putting that fold-away trailer tongue. There, I'm able to save about 2 foot down here. And so I'm loving it, but they did not send me this one. So I may have to go and purchase that from either Home Depot or Harbor Freight. But yeah, a couple more bucks, it'll be fine.